It's live.
Good morning,
Good morning,
everyone.
welcome. Hello, everyone.
It's
Great
the
day
9th
in
of
paradise.
February, 2026. Welcome, everyone. Let us know where you're watching from. We just had a wonderful weekend in Tampa and Sarasota. And I want to say, first of all, thank you to Dr. Kiltz. And there are many people, long list.
Everyone.
I miss them if I try to say all the names. But there were two key people, and that's Alia and Maria Ellen Newcomer were key to putting all this together. And I mean, the only feedback I got was good, good, good. I don't know if you saw already the video by Lash.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
He just put it out a couple of hours ago, I think. I can. Well, let's see how long it is. We can.
Yeah, maybe at some point we'll show it.
I already posted it. Posted on my YouTube as well.
Please send it to me.
Yeah, let's get it posted on all the YouTubes and all the platforms, and let's show it to our peeps. And whole intention is community is critical, and for all of us at all ages, especially when we're into our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, and beyond. And beyond.
Definitely. And Alia is already planning for 2027.
I
Just
am.
pull our dates in there. I put, we'll get that all lined up. We got to meet up on the 21st. We'll be there. Healing
North
Humanity.
Carolina. Yes.
North Carolina. Oh, North. Oh, I can't go. Well, it's Julio's birthday on the 17th, and I talked to my daughter yesterday, so they're going to do a party. We're going to do a small party on the 17th and another one on the 22nd, Sunday, so it'll be good.
You have to be there.
Yeah. What am I going to bring Julio for his birthday?
But you
A steak.
A tomahawk.
So are you gonna have time to go Saturday to North Carolina?
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
You can make. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So today we have Jose Nilo with us from Fit to Fat.
Yeah, I haven't been in my office in 6 weeks, and I got two wonderful books on my desk. This one and Stephanie Rimka's book. Really excited to get into both of these. So thank you, Jose.
Oh, thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk.
If you have any questions for him while we talk to him, please put them in the chat, and we can ask him questions. All right, so Jose, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do, your health journey, whatever you want to talk about.
Thank you. So, well, my name is Jose Nilo. People know me as Coach Nilo, just because I'm a running coach, a fitness trainer. I'm also a health coach. You know, I like the fitness part more, but a lot of people would come to me for weight loss, and I'm like, well, weight loss is more nutrition, I would tell them. But, you know, I'll train you. I'll get you fit and it'll help a little bit. And, that's born and raised in Southern California. My mom used to say that I was born with a baseball glove and a baseball bat because as soon as I was born, it was all baseball. My dad loved baseball. So I was an athlete my whole life. I was always thin, athletic. Baseball was my thing. And as I grew up and I was playing sports, looking back, I was always in pain. My feet, we'd blame it on the cleats or the shoes. My knees, my joints, basically my lower body when I would run. When I got to high school, I got introduced to cross country. But I was always on the sidelines. Shin splints, my ankles, my knees always hurting. And, as kids, we grew up I'm Mexican, so we grew up with a lot of beans and rice and tortillas. You know, we weren't poor, but we weren't rich either. And we were told that eat more tortillas so you get full quicker. And that's the way we grew up. It was all carbs, it's high carbs. We would eat meat and chicken, but that was just a little bit. It was maybe 1 or 2 eggs, and then the rest, it was all eat your beans, my mom says that I used to love beans so much that I would say, if there's no beans, there's no food. So, and to this day, she tells everybody how much I love beans. And, so a lot of those pains, they never really went away. After high school, my dad sent me to medical school in Mexicali, in Mexico. I was there for 2 years, and I didn't like it. I don't want to be a doctor, but my dad wanted, I think it's because I had told him that I wanted to go to the military. That kind of scared him. So he sent me to Mexico to medical school. I was there for 2 years, right after high school, and I didn't like it. So I went back to, California, went to UC Irvine for a few years. And then it was in the year 2000 when my dad passed away of a heart attack. And that hit me really hard. I gave him CPR. I revived him one time. And, he passed away atherosclerosis. So I, for some reason, I blamed myself for many, many years. I was, because I said I didn't finish medical school. If I would have finished medical school, maybe I could have saved him. I would have something, but I blamed myself for a long time. And so I dropped out of school. I didn't finish college, and I just wandered off doing different things. I got into the mortgage industry. So I was in the mortgage industry for a long time. I did it because we needed to pay bills. And I just got stuck there for a while. Then the recession came in 2008. And by that time, I'll backtrack a little bit. In 2005, 2006, I don't remember the exact year, I went to a Tony Robbins event. And I learned about enzymes at Tony Robbins. I was like, I was like an introduction to the enzymes. And then in 2008, when the recession happened, obviously my business went out. I was a broker. My business went out, and I was like, I don't like this industry. I don't like the mortgage industry. I want to go back into what I like. I like fitness. I like health. And I was introduced to a multi-level company that promoted enzymes. And that's where I met Dr. Dickie Fuller. And I learned a lot from Dr. Dickie Fuller. May she rest in peace. But she taught me a lot about not just enzymes, but a lot about different things with health. And through that company, I met tons of doctors and tons of nutritionists and dietitians and professional athletes. And I took advantage, and I was like a sponge, just taking all kinds of things in. And I saw many, many, many people get better. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So during that time, that's when I started getting introduced to the green movement. More plants, more plants, more plants. Meat is bad. Eggs are bad. So I was like, okay, but my whole life I really ate carbs most of my life, but it was more about greens. Eat your veggies, eat your greens, and then kale. I'm like, oh, kale's nasty. To this day, I can't eat kale. Just the flavored spinach. I didn't like spinach. I didn't like broccoli. I still don't. I don't like veggies, but I started eating them because they said they're healthy for us. And I was like, and that's what I started promoting. I got tons of certifications in nutrition, fitness, all that stuff. And I was promoting, eat 6 times a day, lower calories, move more, eat less, what I was taught, on how to teach people how to lose weight. And I would always ask, but then I would see people get results on one side, and then on the other side, people weren't getting results. And then as soon as they stopped dieting, boom, they plump back up. So I'm like, something's not right, but I kept, because that's what I was being taught, getting certifications. So fast forward to the pandemic, I was, by that time, I was working in the health services department at Pomona Unified School District. I was working with a lot of nurses and the health assistants, but I was also coaching during that time. The pandemic came, I lost all my clients because I couldn't meet people in person, and I wasn't really big on the social media. So I lost all my clients. So I went back into the mortgage industry, which I'm still in the mortgage industry. But during the pandemic, I lost, friends and a very dear uncle that it broke my heart. And I started saying, you know what? I have to do something. And I started questioning, and I started hearing people with comorbidities, people that are sick, those are the people that are passing away during the pandemic. I'm like, so I started, it brought back those questions. Okay, why do people have such a hard time? For me, back then it was, why do people have such a hard time losing weight? Why is it so hard? You know, and people would always tell me, how do you eat so much and you don't gain weight? You don't get fat and you eat so much. And so I was like, it's not hard for me. Why is it hard for other people? So I decided I'm going to do this experiment. You know what? I'm going to get fat. Number one, I'm going to show people that I can get fat if I stop taking care of myself. And number two, I'm going to show people how to lose the weight. So I went for about 3.5 years. I went up and down, up and down. I gained the weight, I lose the weight. I gained the weight, I lose the weight. I gain it, you know, just back and forth. I tried different diets. I tried the low calorie. I tried my plant-based, and they all work. But what I noticed is I wouldn't gain that much weight in the beginning. So I was like, you know what? Let's see what happens if I gain a little bit more weight. And I started gaining more weight. And I got to a point where I was at 30% body fat. I had a big belly. And I could hide really well because my upper body, my limbs, it was just the belly. And then a lot of it on my back. You could see the rolls. And once I started, okay, I'm going to try my plant-based diet again, but what I tell everybody, and eat 6 times a day, the lower. Oh my goodness, it was so hard. It was like, holy whack-a-mole, this is different. I think I hit past the threshold that I was like, I'm not understanding what's going on. I'm like, now I know why people have such a hard time, because this is hard. It takes a lot of willpower. I'm like, there has to be an easier way. So I started, you know, researching, studying. And then during the pandemic, we moved to Texas. And here in Texas, you know, I met up with some friends, and they're entrepreneurs into the leadership, and, you know, and they sent me a video from Jordan Peterson. And it wasn't about his carnivore. It was about some other topics. But then the algorithm hit, and I saw Michaela's, one of Michaela's posts, and she started talking about her problems. And I was like, this is interesting. And then she talked about the Lions diet. I'm like, what? So I'm like, okay, this is weird, because they're telling us meat is bad. But then she's saying, and then all of a sudden carnivore, and then steak and butter gal, and then all these other carnivores. And I'm like, and I saw Candy Fraser from Primal Bod, and then Dr. Ben Bickman. You know, by then I had already read Dr. Jason Fung's book way back, and I knew about insulin, but I never connected the dots. And then when all these feeds started coming into my algorithm, and then I saw Dr. Kiltz and all these doctors, and I was like, whoa. So me coming from a background of multi-level where it's all about testimonies, it's all anecdotal, I was like, okay, Jose, you can't shut yourself out on this. If there's hundreds and maybe even thousands of testimonies that I'm looking at in the comments, there has to be something here. So it was during my experiment. So I was like, I'm going to try this. So on my last attempt, I started adding more meat. The hard part for me was eating so much meat. I couldn't get to 140 grams of protein. The only way I could do it back in the days was to drink a lot of shakes. But I can't do it with shakes. So what I started doing, and this is basically the process, what I did. Okay, I'm going to start eating meat, and I would drop the carbs, but it was too hard. It was too hard for me. I tried the intermittent fasting. It took a lot of willpower. It was a lot of headaches. The headaches was a big thing for me. And I'm like, I can't do this. This is too hard. How can these people do this? And so what I did is I put the carbs back in, and I slowly started adding more meat. So I started going high carbs, low protein, meat. And I started basically lowering my carbs as I started eating more meat. It got to the point where my cravings just basically went away. And by that time, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start doing just pure meat and eggs for a while. I would go 3 days, and then I'd eat a little bit of carbs. And then I'd go 4 days and eat a little bit of carbs. I'd go 2 days, a little bit of carbs. And it got to the point where I'm like, okay, no more cravings. I'm going to try to go for a week. So I started going 7 days. I'm like, oh, I feel good. Day 4, day 5, I kind of expected that it was going to be the days where I felt tired, sluggish, because I had been studying and research. And that's where people say that day 4 and day 5 are the ones that hit you the hardest. I mean, day 3 and day 4. And by day 5, I started feeling better. By day 7, I'm like, well, I'm going to keep going. Second week, went 3 weeks. After my 3rd week, I did a 48-hour fast, which is only supposed to be a 24-hour fast. But I felt so good that I kept it to a 48-hour fast. Now, let me backtrack. I had mentioned about my injuries. Now, in 2015, I injured my Achilles on a bike ride. And it was just the pain that I had there. So I ended up, I kept training. You know, I'm an endurance athlete. I kept training, running. I do triathlons, cycling events, run. And I ended up almost tearing my Achilles tendon. And that injury lasted from 2015 to basically 2024. In the middle of that 2nd week when I was doing carnivore, my pains disappeared. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I always stretch my leg, my feet, you know, my toes go in circles. And I was like, something feels different. And then when I step on the floor, I need to stretch out because the bottom of my feet would always hurt. I step on the floor and I'm like, okay, something feels different. And I'm touching my Achilles. I'm like, I don't feel anything. It doesn't hurt anymore. I'm out rubbing my Achilles as I'm talking. And I get on my tippy toes. I'm like, I start walking on my tippy toes. I'm like, okay, this is too weird. I go and I put on my running stuff and I go outside and I go run. I'm jumping, I'm running, I'm sprinting, I'm doing no pain. I come back and I'm like, holy moly, this is, it was hard to believe, you know. I used to lower my pain with my enzymes and proteolytic enzymes, but this was different. It was gone, like completely gone. And ever since then, the pain hasn't come back. So I'm like, I gotta teach people this because this isn't. And then the weight, the fat just started melting off by itself. So I'm like, I gotta teach people this. This is a great tool to have in your arsenal. There's people that are gonna be like, well, I can't do carnivore forever. Well, you know what? You can do it temporarily, and I bet you it's gonna help. I mean, I'm looking at all these testimonies and all these people say it's anecdotal. I'm like, but it works. So, I mean, if it's not in a clinical trial, I mean, I have nothing against clinical trials, but what I tell people is we don't live in a lab. There's all these things in the environment, you know, all the smog outside, you know, you fall and you break your leg. Sometimes you have mold and you don't even know it. There's parasites, people coughing on you. You go from hot to cold sometimes, you know. My daughter, this Thursday, they went out to a farm, and we had to sing on Saturday. She had to sing on Saturday because we played for praise and worship. You know, she had a sore throat, and I was like, well, I'll give her some of my home remedies. But people are like, but that's not medication. I'm like, but it works. She had a sore throat, and it fixed it just like that. So there's so many different factors that happen that we don't live. And I tell people we don't live in the lab. So the clinical trials, you read them, take them for, you know, as a baseline, just to help. But I don't understand why people, and not everybody, but there's a lot of people that go against testimonies. They're like, well, you can't be saying that. I'm like, why not? It helped me. I'm like, it helped me. I can run now. I didn't know what it was like to run without pain. So I'm sorry, it's a long story, but that's my testimony. And
that is wonderful. I was thinking you had mentioned rice and beans, and you know, I grew up with rice and beans twice a day, every day for many years. And you also mentioned tortillas, and sometimes it's very hard to give those things up. Now, you were at times eating some of that while you were experimenting with going up and down your weight and different diets.
Mm-hmm.
When did you finally give up, you know, tortillas, burritos, beans?
Well, I still eat them occasionally, because I don't, you know, people talk about moderation. Well, there's different moderations depending on, you know, I have a friend that says, you know, I'll have 1 or 2 Cokes a day, you know, or 1 or 2 Red Bulls, everything in moderation. I'm like, well, this sounds more like an addiction than moderation. But I'll have, you know, once in a while, most of my days I eat eggs and meat. you know, whether it's ground beef or steak and eggs. That's what I eat the majority of my days. But you know, my girls, they at their schools, they get introduced pizza. One of my girls, my 7-year-old, she loves pizza. She's like, Bobby, can we go have pizza? I'm like, let's go have pizza. And I'll go have pizza with her, you know, but I go right back to eating the way I always eat, you know. Now, right now, I am almost done with my getting fat stage again. So I'm not, why? Because I lost all of my pictures and my footage, my videos from my 3 years. The cloud lost everything from 2023 and half of 2024. So when my twin babies were born in July of 2023, I lost all of that. I was so bummed. And so that's why I'm doing it over. And this time I want to show people. I'm doing it on my you know, social media. I want to show people the process. And it's not easy, but it's simple. It's the hard part is, number one, getting started. Number two is we have to unlearn a lot of the stuff that we were taught. You know, people are afraid of meat and eggs because the cholesterol, and because they say it causes diabetes, and because they say it causes cancer, and because they say it causes all these things. And I'm like, well, I'm seeing a whole different story over here. The few people that I've introduced to they're having results, good results, the positive results. And I tell them, look, it's not about weight loss. It's not about the fat loss anymore. It's about healing. It's about, if you heal your body, if you give your body what it needs, your body's going to heal. God gave us this temple, and we got to take care of it. You know, it's a vehicle that
maybe you could join Kiltz Mighty Tribe.
Just like when you put oil and you change the oil on your car. You got to do the same thing to your body. You got to give it the good stuff, you know? So that's, yeah, but I still, occasionally I will eat carbohydrates. That's why I told Alia, and like, I don't really consider myself a carnivore because I still eat carbs. I know that some of them will get me bloated and gassy, and I'll do what I need to do to, you know, but I'll jump right back into my, you know, eating meat and eggs because I feel good. I feel good with that. And that's,
you mentioned social media. What's your favorite platform?
I use YouTube and Instagram the most. I'm on Facebook also, and somebody told me to open TikTok, but
what's your Instagram?
Go ahead.
What is your Instagram?
Coach Nilo.
Coach Nilo. Dr. Kiltz, go ahead.
All right. Coach Nilo, thank you for being here. Your book is amazing. How young are you?
I'm going to be 52 on the 24th this month.
All right. So you're completing 52 years this month, and you don't eat carbs, you eat plants, and you eat animals, correct?
Correct.
And you're on your learning journey. Would you say that a meat-centered diet is healthier than a plant-centered diet?
From experience, yes.
Okay. Would you say that experience has more power than the studying and the reading that ultimately has gotten us sick?
Oh, yes. I learned that.
So would you tell people that are sick and working to heal, focus on plants or animals?
I would say focus on animal meat.
And do we get fat on plants or do we get fat on animals?
On plants.
Right. So really, you know, again, oh my God, I eat some French fries sometimes, extra crispy, fried in tallow, dipped in sour cream, lots of salt, the grease from the ribeye all over it, right? But not most of the time, only sometimes, as a little bit of a taste and a treat.
Yes.
The main meal is always what?
I'm sorry?
The main meal should be what?
Meat. Yes. Meat, eggs, fish.
Well, but ultimately you could just do meat and you're fine, and it should be fatty meat, not lean.
Yes, I had to incorporate fats because if I couldn't eat enough meat, I needed something to cover for that. So that was when I learned about the butter, and you know, I got to find a place where I can find the raw butter. I've been listening to that, but right now we do with the Costco butter, which is it's been doing the job for now.
Oh, and by the way, I was at the Atlanta airport, and there was a big picture of Mr. Rogers. Who do we think about in the carnivore world? Rick Rodriguez is the Mr. Rogers of the carnivore world. The dude is the most amazing, inspirational, and Rick stayed at my place night before last, and really had a great time, and grateful to him. And so, have you been to a meetup yet, Jose?
No, I haven't. I'm still new to this. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get involved, and I've been looking. And when you answered so quickly when I sent you the message on YouTube, I was like, wow, yeah, I can't believe he answered my text.
Well, what you're doing is inspirational because it's getting people in the motion, in the movement, and doing something to be fit. And we may not be doing it right when we start, because even carnivore, we often do it wrong, right? But you're at least doing something different than you were doing, and that's the magic of the story. Well, tell me about your inspiration to write the book and share your message.
The book, I wrote it because I didn't know how else to get the message out. You know, when I lost my dad, that was the big thing.
What's your dad's name?
His name was Antonio Nilo.
Antonio Nilo is right here with us today. We lose no one.
Yeah.
We're all born to die, and we're just energy of creation. And he created you, your mom, right?
Exactly.
He's right here with us every day, inspired by that.
Thank you.
And that's why I think what you're doing is magical. And so many people need help in changing.
Yeah, it was, from what I remember, my dad used to get his, through his job, he always had to get his physicals and his blood work. And they always said, there's nothing wrong with you.
Well, our hero, Wendell, just passed at 60-ish, 65-ish last week. And he went to the doctors, and they said, can't find anything. He was in the emergency room. He passed. And he's been with us here for 15, 20 years at CNY Fertility, caring for us. And I had pictures of my brothers and sisters who have passed because they're not gone. They're still with us. And I think your story, our stories, everyone's story here, those that showed up, let's see, Susie, Diane, Anna, Phil, Mitch, Alia, Dr. Nelson. So many people showed up at our meetups, and so everyone sharing their stories of healing on a keto and carnivore lifestyle. But tell us a little bit about engaging in the work, just showing up to do the work that could be so much healthy and healing. My brother and I have a place in Irvine. We go to the local school, the track, go for a walk and engage with friends and things like that. And just getting out and moving. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think activity is huge. It helped me. The way I used the activity during this time is because it was for stress. It wasn't so much to get fit. It was more because I had so much stress. I work in the mortgage industry, and it's very stressful, and I'm trying to get out of it. I hope my boss doesn't hear this. But it's very stressful. Activity not only helps with your cardio. If you're doing, cardio, it not only helps you build muscle, which muscle is very important, but it helps with stress. It helped me out with stress. And that's a huge, 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 huge factor in why people have such a hard time with health, not just with weight loss, but with health in general. And I learned that the hard way because with twin babies, working 14, 16, 18 hours a day, back to back to back. And I don't get sleep. it was hard, and I was in the middle of my trying to, you know, heal journey, but movement, activity, and it's not just going to the gym. There's so much more stuff than just going to the gym. You know, the other day I put a reel up, and they were recording me because I was chasing the babies around the house. You know, that right there, the laughing, the chasing my little ones around, you know, acting like I'm running behind them. That's some kind of activity. And you know, when you do it with somebody else, it's so much easier. It's so much. That's what, you know, you talk about community. Now, my testimony for community is during this journey, I got closer to God because prayer. I started praying. One of my friends told me, start praying, start doing good deeds. I started praying more, and I started feeling a lot of these negative emotions that I had from the past. They just started lifting up by themselves, and that took so much weight off my shoulders. And now I'm more involved. Like I said, we did praise and worship this weekend, and there's this community that just they carry you and they help you when you're falling, and they don't let you fall. So the same thing here, and that's why I'm trying to get involved and trying to learn more and meet more people, because I believe we have to get this message out. And it's not, you know, for people that I still want to eat my carbohydrates. That's okay. If you want to eat your carbohydrates, I still eat carbohydrates, but you gotta try it.
We don't eat carbohydrates.
Plants. And we don't need them.
We eat plants. Okay. So, you know, you mentioned protein. Okay. It's all bullshit. All right. There is no other animal is looking for its macros. A lion eats lamb, and lamb eats plants. We've made it a scientism out of simplicity.
Yes.
This is our problem, right? And really, eating fatty meat is what heals us the most, but eating plants ferments in our gut, right? So we can eat plants, but we keep on saying carbohydrates. Why?
Because that's what we learned, and we're so programmed to say that.
So you said it. We have to unlearn. Rice and beans, I love them. And tortillas, I love them. I grew up with that shit. Right? Yeah. But I was sick. Right? How much alcohol is good for us?
Is that?
Right? And so you mentioned Tony Robbins. You mentioned stress. Do lions have stress?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Okay, all right. Dr. Nelson, do lions have stress?
I'm sure there's some level of stress.
Well, who do they live with? Lionesses. Okay? But like this idea
Don't
of
get me into trouble.
Stress, I'm sure you've read The Secret. Jose, have you read The Secret?
Yes, long time ago. Yes.
Have you been to a Tony Robbins retreat?
Yes, I've been to his Date with Destiny, and I went to his what was the other one? I forget the name, but it was where they teach you about nutrition, you fast, and all that stuff.
Did you walk the coals?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you're a fire walker, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned something about your current job, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you love it?
No.
Oh. What would Christ tell you to do?
To get out of it.
No, he would not.
No?
Love
Tell
it.
you to love it. When you love what you hate, it opens up the windows. You see the clarity of what it is, because I can't live without a loan officer. How many people own their houses 100%?
Not many.
Right. How many people own their cars 100%?
Not many.
So are you an important driver and helper to people growing their life?
I guess I am.
So this is where the secret comes in, and Christ, which is when you love what you hate, what you hate becomes love, and it'll treat you differently because it's all a mind game. And that's what this is, a mind game. And so, I mean, it is your sustenance right now, right?
Yes.
And so never quit your day job as you're working for your next job. But when you love what you hate, which you hate becomes the seeds and the fertilizer for the future.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Tony would tell you, wouldn't he?
Probably, yeah.
Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Dr. Nelson. Oh, Dr. Nelson, was it Northeast or Northwest?
Unfortunately, he went up to the upper west side.
Well, so it was the Northwest. Ultimately, though, this was the problem. You wanted the Northeast, but it's now in the West. Seahawks. I didn't watch a bit of it, but
terrible game from the Patriots' perspective. Great game from the Seahawks.
But
Congratulations.
why was it a great game for both of them? They were playing the game.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the part of this journey for all of us. We showed up because we're playing the game, win or lose. It doesn't matter because we're all winners because we're playing the game. And that's it. So, Jose, tell us a little bit about how you're dipping your toes and looking more at the carnivore lifestyle and how you may incorporate the Lions line, which invites the sheep to come back to the pride.
The way I'm doing it is I'm just putting the message out there, and the people that need to hear it will hear it. And because that's all I can do. I can't force people to do it. All I can do is tell people, I'm like, look, this is the way I do it. It's helped. Once I start having more people that are, testimonies, and they allow me to show their testimonies, I can show their testimonies. But for now, I show mine, and I talk about mine, and just keep giving my message and getting it out there, because there's a lot of people that I think a lot about my family, and I go back to my dad. There's a lot of people that, we're all going to go when we're going to go, but if we're going to go, at least let's not suffer so much while we're here. And if I can help people not suffer so much physically, I can, because there's emotional, there's spiritual, but I can help people physically how to heal. And I'm not a doctor, but just by giving my message, people can go to communities like yours. They can see other doctors that are doing the same thing and get guidance. But it's I don't know if that answered your question, but that's how I know how to do it for right now.
We're born to suffer. Now I've got 30 more years to live, plus or minus 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea when he's going to say, I need you up here. You've done your work down there.
Yeah.
But do you think that faith and a belief in an outer power is powerful for the inner peeps?
Oh yeah, God comes first. If we don't have God in our lives, we don't have anything. God is everything, and that's what I believe. I can't say it any other way. God comes first. He's everything. If it wasn't for God, we wouldn't have what we have. We have everything we have because of God. And because of prayer, I feel like I healed, because that helped me a lot. I think people have so much stuck in here. At least this is where I used to feel it, right in the pit of my stomach. When I used to get upset, frustrated, stressed out, I feel it right here. And prayer for me it got that knot that I had here, it took it out. And now people can tell me things. I don't get so frustrated. I don't get so, I used to like, oh, that's not right. You know, I like block myself. And now I'm open. I listen to conversations. I listen and I don't get offended. I don't, you know, I say, well, he said this, this is very interesting. I'm like, it's interesting. That's like, okay, let's look at both sides of the story. Before I was just like, no, it's my way or the highway, you know, and I changed. So yes, faith, it has to be, in my opinion, it has to be number one, God, number one, and family comes next. And, you know, and it just, that's how I feel. I'm sorry. I'm ranting over here.
No, it's the point. We're here is to have a conversation. OPM, other people's money, and DID, die in debt, but the assets are always greater than the liabilities. We're investing in humanity. That's the whole most important part, and that's why it's so important to join our communities, Healing Humanity, SBG, KMT, Rivero Health, and more. Ken Berry, Anthony Chafee, and sharing the lion's way. That's because we're lions, not sheep, but we've been trained and fed like sheep, and that's been part of our problem. So, what's your favorite exercise activity?
I love to run and ride my bike. Between those two, it's like, okay, do I want to run more? Now I like to run more because it doesn't hurt, you know, and I couldn't run before. I stopped running after high school because of my shin splints, and that's when I started cycling. So it's between cycling and running, but right now, because I don't have any pain, I like running. And I know that people say, oh, well, running a lot's not good for you, but I really, really enjoy it. You know, it's, for me, I enjoy running. It's, people say, well, you're weird. I'm like, yeah, but that's what I like. I like to run. But,
We're born to run. But I say we're really born to walk.
Yeah.
Because everyone needs to just simply walk and move.
Mm-hmm.
Running is unnecessary. I think some of us, I mean, I used to, but then I used to run until my mid-50s. And then it was like, okay, slow it down. You don't need to wear out the Ferrari. There's no race. You don't have to, you know, chase it. It's already right there. So what are your thoughts as for many people just walk?
I walk a lot with my wife. Walking is for me, it's very social. It's very relaxing. Again, it's stress. I walk all the time. I take the dog out to walk with my daughter. I have conversations with my daughters during the walk. Walks for me are very they're very it's a way to relax. It's a way to be social with especially with my family and my daughters. And I do walk, you know. I like running, you know, but I do walk a lot. So yes, it's very important for somebody like my wife. You know, she always struggled with her weight, and she always like, how do you stay so thin? How do you not get fat? You know, you eat all this stuff and you don't get fat. So with her, she couldn't run. So walk, mija, go walk. And she loves to walk. And I'm like, that's all you need. That's all you need. Just, you know, and for her, she's a lot of stress. You know, if it wasn't for her, this house would have fallen apart. You know, she holds up the fort over here. You know, she holds a job. We homeschool our girls, and she does all the heavy weight. You know, it's the cooking. I help out as much as I can. You know, but if it wasn't for her, I don't know. I was blessed with someone who loves me, and I love her. I love her with all my heart, and you know, she gave me 4 beautiful daughters, and I'm just. So yeah, but walking, I recommend it. It's especially when you start, you know, you can't just, if you want to run a marathon, you can't go out and try to run 10 miles, you know. Just first start off slow, get your joints, you know, ready to go. But walking, it's very important. I think it's important to walk. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so
Well, that's why you're here. We love your conversation. You're sharing. You're right. Walking. How do you think prayer has more value for seeing the stress as actually the gift for us to create and given to us by?
I think for me, it was prayer that did it, because it wasn't because I used to exercise. I walk, I'd run, I'd lift weights, I'd do push-ups, squats, you name it. And that got rid of the stress temporarily. But it wasn't until I started getting really, really deep into prayer that it lifted, like I said, that knot that I felt here, which is all the stress, all the frustration, all the past things that I had. It broke the chains, and it made me a more calm person. It made me more, I laugh more. Because now I know that, there's a bigger purpose than just drowning in a cup of water. I used to drown in a cup of water, and now it's in a pool. I'm still growing, but yeah, prayer, I think, has so much power to help us with stress. And for me, that was a big one. That was a big one.
What about stretching and simple things like yoga, tai chi? Do you think that's helpful for us also?
I think it can help. I think it helps. It's I stretch, but I do more mobility stuff, not so much static stretching. I do a lot of mobility stuff, like what you're doing right now. You're moving your joints, and it helps. I think all of it helps. It's just not doing it so much that you're gonna injure yourself. And you got to do it. Like I said, it's you progress towards things. I think everything, you build a foundation and you just build on it. But it helps. Yeah. I'm not very flexible, but I do I do
So you got to
mobility.
stretch more. You got to do the stretching, and our flexibility is actually probably there, but we don't stretch it out enough, and that's part of our problem for all of us. I can stretch more and do.
Sorry.
Go ahead, doctor.
I was gonna say, some people ask frequently. This is a frequent question. What's the best exercise? The one you're willing to do.
The one you're willing to do. The one you enjoy doing. Yes.
Getting up and going to work every day is actually the best exercise.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but it's hard.
No, it's easy. It's easy when it becomes your daily habit. You practice it and you think, wow, how exciting for me to get up and go to work today.
Yep. That's a good
attitude. That's a part of it. I think we just have to be more positive. Like Mr. Rick Charger Mopar is like one of the most positive people I've ever met.
I gotta look him up. Is he on? He's
here. He's here in the chat.
Yeah, and Mitch, he's one of the most grumpy people I've ever met. but he's one of the most inspirational people I've ever met. And I should say, right? He just tells it like it is.
We love Mitch.
We love Mitch. Mm-hmm. We love Rick. We love everyone. Because God says what?
Love everyone.
Love everyone.
Yep. The golden rule.
Love everyone. Would your job be part of everyone and everything?
Anybody that wants to listen and anybody that wants to come along.
So we must love our jobs. We must love what we hate in order to change what it is. It's the simplicity of the story, right?
That's a good lesson. Thank you.
Yes, it's like the best. And, that's one of the most important things for all of us. We must love what we hate in order to convert it into the magic that God gifted it to us. Because I always ask the question, who creates everything?
I say God.
Okay, did God create your work?
We did.
No. You said God creates everything, didn't you?
Yes.
So is your work part of everything?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So then what must you love?
Everything.
The
Man.
work. When you love it every day, the magic shows up.
Man, you just put things in a whole different perspective for me.
That's
you.
all it is. But that's where the secret comes in. The secret is so simple every day for all of us. I don't care if you're a carnivore, an herbivore, or an omnivore.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't matter, actually. Mindset matters most.
Man.
Now, I think eating meat is more masterful than mush.
Yes. Yeah. It was wow, I'm internalizing everything you're telling me, because it's putting a lot of things into perspective.
But you're on the journey, and I guess, you know, I wrote some, is obesity a disease?
I think everything that happens is a disease when on that journey to getting overweight. Like, you know, the not feeling well, the you know, the cancer, the
How did you get there?
how do you get there?
Yeah.
It depends. There's, you know, but the majority, it's because, you know, we eat too much. It's, for me, it's the
Plants.
It's eating the sugar, all the sugars, you know.
Plants. Rice and beans, are they sweet?
No, they're not sweet.
But what are they made of?
Plants.
Glucose.
Sugar, yeah.
So, but you're right, plants, and that's really it. And you know, we're all here. I'm really appreciate, Jose, you being here today, Coach Nilo, and you're an inspiration. And all of us are on this journey together. Faith in God first, within the mirror, by the way. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's eat and live like a lion. And a lion is courageous. I mean, the Lion of Judah. Who might that be? And again, just philosophy. It's humanity, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a question or two, Alia.
Yeah, let's go.
We only have 2 questions. I think we answered one of them. Miss Lafla, how has your eating lifestyle influenced your children and wife?
Oh, a lot, because like right now when I'm doing this, when I was going through all this, especially my 7-year-old, she would see me eating cereal. She's like, "Can I have some too?" And I'm like, "Oh man." And or if I drink a soda, it's like, "Well, you're drinking soda." Mm-hmm. You know, so kids, they don't do what you tell them. They do what they see you do. And when we're eating stuff that harms us, you know, if I'm drinking a soda or eating chips or all this, the kids are like, "Well, you did it too." So it influence what we eat, what we do it influences our kids a lot. So right now, my wife, she's incorporating a carnivore diet. She'll still eat some carbs here and there, or plants. I gotta learn. And
we gotta learn, all of us.
But for the most part, she's starting to eat. And she didn't want me to go through this phase again of, you know, I'm like, well, I got to teach people. I tell them, this is the way I know how to show them. Because I'm not very well versed. At least right now, I have to learn more. But I can show them. And when they see, okay, this is what I'm eating meat, I'm eating eggs, I'm eating fish, or, you know, I eat between this hour and this hour. I don't eat at night. You know, if people, simple things. And if I can, you know, show people, I think that's the best way. And because right now I don't know how to. I'm not very well versed at all of this, and
I'm practicing every day. And that's all Christ, you know, commands us to do. Just practice every single day. The simplicity of all of it. He didn't really give us any. I mean, would you say the New Testament is a very thick book with like complicated stories and rules?
Well, I the way I started doing reading the Bible is with the children's Bible, because it was hard for me to understand the regular Bible. So I had to read the children's Bible so I could understand it. And I'm getting better. I listen to while I'm working, I'm always listening. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to, other people that are on YouTube, and I'm listening and I'm learning. I just have to start talking more so that I can get better versed at it. So I know the information, a lot of it, but I will go rant, and they're like, I will lose people because I talk too much, because I'm not organized in my in my speaking. So I have to, like you said, I have to practice. I have to practice.
Dr. Nelson, who's the most unorganized in his speaking?
Don't know the answer to that.
I don't organize my speaking. I just show up, and he speaks with me. It's really the magic of, I think, our humanity is.
Yeah. I was nervous. I was nervous today, and because I didn't know how. I'm like, man.
Well, good. It's good to be nervous.
Nilo, if someone wants to get in touch with you, where do they find you?
They can find me on social media at Coach Nilo. I have all my information. I also have a website, coachnilo.com. But yes, they can get a hold of me there. And yeah, I am excited to get the word out, and I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep practicing, and I'm going to keep learning, because my goodness, this is, I think everybody needs to know about this. And I think the hardest part is unlearning everything that we've known. And people, and I could tell people, look, if you don't want to, you don't have to do it, but you at least try it. Give it a try for a month and see how you feel. And
what's your thoughts on I always go back to walking and Wagyu. Just simple walking on Wagyu, meat and just hit the mat, right? Get moving.
Oh, that's the easiest way. I mean, if you can do try 1 week, and like I said, day 3, day 4, you may feel a little sluggish, tired, but day 5, you're gonna feel a lot better. At least that was my experience. And it's walking, activity, anything that makes you laugh, anything that you can relax, that you can just do and not think about, washing dishes or doing something.
That's why we show up here. I love washing dishes. It's, again, imagine that every chore you do is part of the Christ way, right? The most, quote, menial to the most masterful. They're all part of the same work, right?
Man, you're giving me so many lessons.
Yeah. No, I'm getting a lesson. We're all doing it together. It's the masterful mind, right? I think let's get Tony Robbins and
Sure.
on one of our morning meetups, shall we?
I would love it.
Let's
We're
take
gonna
one
do it.
more
It's
question
gonna happen.
before we sign off. Dr. Kiltz, this is a good one for you. Hi, all. I have a question. No, I think I'm getting a UTI. Have been carnivore for about a month. What do I do?
Fat fasting, and sometimes you need an antimicrobial, which could be just eating the fat and doing the fasting. But we're still in the modern world now. We can get a culture, and you can even take something to kill it, because I still think the microbes in the gut travel around the body and cause our infections. But it's more fatty meat, rare to raw, and maybe some bone broth too will help. But
get a check.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Good day, everyone. 5:30.